Tell me, friend, when did Saruman the Wise abandon reason for madness? Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. This is The Plan, episode 2, and this is my weekly column that I'm trying to do, or I don't know, column show that I'm trying to do, just to talk about news that's happened throughout the week and comment on it, cover it. I mean, I've covered a lot of it. You guys can find a ton more news stuff in my history on YouTube than previous weeks, just because there's been a lot to cover, and I mean, most of you know that. You're not foolish, you're not stupid, you're not blind, though even if you were blind, I would still love you. And here's the thing, yeah, we're still going to cover some of it. I don't want to get bogged down on any particular topic. Last time I released this, it was on Tuesday, not this most recent Tuesday, but the Tuesday previously. So we've got about 10 days worth of stuff to talk about. I think my permanent day for me releasing this is probably going to be on Thursdays. So I mean, I know I'm releasing this on a Friday, but I think Thursdays is the most likely, just so then we're covering the greatest likelihood of them releasing something on at least Tuesday or Wednesday, so we can talk about fresh new stuff. But invariably, I mean, I think my show with Sarah is going to have to be released on Friday coming up. So a couple shows in a row for you guys on this channel. I'll keep you posted, though. Otherwise, this should be interesting, folks. There's a lot to talk about. Let's just jump in, shall we? So, first we've got Admiral Raddus. A lot of people, his friends call him Adrad, which is great. I mean, like, right before that, like, his rank was Commodore, and they call it Comrade, and wow, that actually worked out really well, didn't it? I was just making things up. I thought, I mean, maybe if he was a captain, he'd be called Caprad, and his friends are just excited, because Adrad sounds a lot cooler, sounds a lot radder than Rad, but then, you know, a Commodore, Comrade, that's even cooler. Oh man, my subconscious is way too clever sometimes. Super silly. Didn't really intend it to be like that, but one way or another, guys, Admiral Raddus, he's here, and he's like old news at this point. He's GAC, Omicron, and goes with Rogue One. Rogue One is, I've always thought they were an interesting faction. So he replaces Jin pretty well, and Jin is going to, I mean, I have her Relic 0 just to be ironic right now, because Relic 1 would be super easy for her, but then she'd be R1, and I don't want her to be Rogue One, Relic 1 and Rogue 1, so, it's not really, no one's even going to notice, so is it, that's the question I'll pose to you. If you do something to be ironic, but nobody notices, are you actually being ironic? I mean, maybe to yourself, but, I mean, the irony's kind of lost on yourself, I feel like. So, one way or another, though, it looks like an okay squad. I don't think it's going to be that game change. Maybe, though. I mean, with all these Datacrons and stuff, you just don't know. There's so many weird squads out there that we're going to have to just be paying attention to. However, I do think that Admiral Raddus does look interesting for a few different reasons. He's going to be good in GAC. His Omicron looks okay. I wouldn't recommend doing anything with it now, especially because Malgus is going to be released. Like, we'll have him in about 1 month, and you probably want most, if not all, of his Omicrons. So I'm not giving one to Raddus yet. And Grand Inquisitor, if you care about him, he is also right on the horizon. He's going to have at least one. I'm guessing 3, however, Omicrons for him. Hopefully we get his kit actually today, the day this is released, on Friday. I wouldn't be too surprised. I'd be actually a little surprised if we didn't. However, the other thing that I wanted to mention, guys, here is, so we had the Road Ahead, which is the big news post that we're all look forward to every couple months. The CG's like, here's what's going to be happening, and usually they give us a lot of information. This time they just gave us a breakdown of a mostly unpopular progression mode in the game, which we'll cover in a minute, Datacrons. However, Beyond that, they talked about Star Wars Celebration, which is pretty much a non-factor news thing. And then they also announced the Grand Inquisitor, which we'll talk about in just a minute as well. The other thing, though, guys, is everyone was disappointed because we expected a Galactic Legend announcement. However, I do think that we got a soft one the day or two before when Raddus was released, or his announcement was here, because there's no real reason to release Raddus out there unless he's going to be a pilot, unless he's going to be the pilot of a ship, which makes another Rogue One character that's a pilot when the pilot himself, Bodhi, does not have his own ship. But here's the thing. I mean, it seems fairly obvious. First off, we have the download mechanic for him, and I'm not going to explain that here. You guys can go look at my reaction video to that or whatever. But, you know, just read a kit. Hey, there's something novel. But here's the other thing, though. The other part of it is when you look at Dash Rendar's ship, the Outrider, it's Rebel, and it's the only faction that we have like extra ships for. Like all the other factions are spread to the limit because we kind of need more capital ships on some level, and we need more, well, we need more capital ships, but we even more than that need more starships. Admiral Raddus is almost certainly a soft announcement. They didn't make it official or anything, but they made it a soft announcement that that's going to be our next big ship. That's going to be replacing, or at least like equalizing, Executor in the fleet meta. So, you know, Dash Rendar, I would expect other things. We'll talk about what other things to expect in a minute, though. So Grand Inquisitor, I don't know. He's the least hyped legendary character out there. Inquisition, I don't know. We talked a little bit, me and Sarah, a couple days ago. We released a thing about, was it wise to even farm Inquisitors just to get him? And the answer is almost like, not really. He's not that interesting. I mean, he may end up being very interesting, but it's a lot of work for a character who's just in territory wars. And unless you're like an end game, like an end of the end game, tip of the spear kind of person, or you want to spend money, then he's probably not the guy you're looking for. Should be interesting. That'll come up soon enough. Alright, so Datacrons are here, and people are angry. You can see this is Cub Fan Hans' reaction. He is not happy about Datacrons. No one is, it seems. I'm not that happy about it, honestly, guys. I posted a thing of, like, just generalized, like, here's our first strategy. That's what I did yesterday, and someone posted this. I mean, good riddance in a lot of ways. Like, if you want to be this disloyal to me, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know who this guy is. Enjoyed your channel, but, like, I mean, I enjoyed your company, but in fact, you're a boring a-hole, you know, kind of thing. So, I don't really care about this specific thing. I'm not trying to be dramatic. I thought it was very interesting. Like, you have to. So if you're going to, like, am I supporting Datacrons? I guess making videos about it is supporting them to some degree. However, I also think that someone is going to need to explore this stuff. I don't think that it's an unreasonable idea here, guys, and bear with me, because I'm going to be talking about what my thoughts on Datacrons in just a minute, but I don't like them, guys. I do not think that they're a good idea. All of the stuff that I've seen makes me think that they are unnecessary and just frankly really frustrating. However, I do think that there's something to be said about waiting to see. We haven't seen them in action yet. Territory Wars or GAC has not happened yet. Why can't we just pause our anger a little bit, let it simmer? Like, don't throw it away, don't get rid of it, but maybe just wait and see. I've had more comments on my YouTube videos about, I quit, I'm done, Datacrons ruined it for me, and I'm like, they kind of in the game right now, but they're they're not. Like, you haven't played them. You haven't seen their impact. You're pissed, and I get it, and I am too, and maybe we should just wait. I don't think that there's something wrong with just waiting a little bit, chilling out just a tiny bit, waiting to see what their impact is, and then getting angry after we actually have data. I don't know. I remember when my mom took me skiing, she forced me to go skiing, and I decided, okay, I'm going to try it, and I liked it. But if I hadn't actually gone and tried it, in theory, I hated it. I didn't want to go. Initially, I just didn't want to go. She made me go, and I decided to have the right attitude and like try it and try to like it, and I did. I'm not saying you guys should try to like, you don't have to. I'm not trying to sell Datacrons, but I do think that going in with an open mind, not just like going in and deciding you're going to hate it. Like, of course you're going to hate it. If I'd gone in to try skiing the first time and I was like, I'm going to hate this, then guess what? I would have hated it. I absolutely would have. But I was open to the idea of maybe it was better than I thought, and it was. And I mean, whether or not, I don't think I'm going to like this. I don't anticipate that I will. But I also don't think there's something totally unreasonable about waiting to see what's going to happen. So, that being said, one thing that has been grinding my gears just a little bit, or turning my knobs, you know, like Watt would say, is the idea that CG a while ago, this is almost a year ago, this was in August, that they made a change to a lot of different kits to help with in-game balance, they said. So they nerfed Vader, they nerfed Watt and Thrawn, they changed the kits on General Skywalker, which was actually kind of a buff for him, honestly, and they changed the kit for Luke, which was kind of just, it's buffed in some ways and weaker in others, that's fine, but the biggest thing, guys, was the thing that's sticking in my mind is Wat Tambor's weapon tech, where you could give this weapon tech to someone, and everyone complains still. They're like, why do you even call it weapons tech? It doesn't do anything. I mean, it does give you turn meter, and it allows you to ignore revives. However, it does remove the attacks ignore defense, which is a mechanic thing that they saw as too strong to be a plug-and-play thing. Like, you can just hand it to any character. That's horrible. Just a terrible idea that one character could impact one other character in such an overpowered way. And at the time, I didn't agree with it. However, I mean, I barely focused on that one. That one was a big deal for Vader and stuff, because he'd be able to, you know, he was able to kill Rey back then with this tech. However, they said this is to help promote game balance, and whereas I thought that it was misguided, I accepted it because of their reasons. They want to keep the game balanced, that's great. I want them to make changes based off of that. That seems important to me. As a player, as a competitive guy, I want the game to be balanced. This, however, is almost directly opposite of what Datacrons are doing. Now Datacrons are like, hey, look at this. We can just give you all kinds of random buffs to an entire squad. Doesn't matter, they have to be Relic 3, which I know that's not a popular thing, but ignoring the Relic 3 part, as long as people meet the criteria, the entire squad gets buffed. The entire squad gets this cool stuff, folks, and they're giving this stuff to Galactic Legends, they're giving this just blanket to anyone who applies, and when they interviewed Crumb, the community manager, he said, hey, we'll just wait, we don't care, we'll change things if we have to. But it was very clear they don't want to. They don't anticipate doing it, because eventually those things are going to disappear, because Datacrons are only 3 months long, and they'll just let it go. So they don't care. This is sending the opposite message. To me, that's the frustrating part. This is the thing that's been frustrating me lately, is they say, okay, we're gonna balance the game, we're gonna nerf Watt, and I'm like, okay, I don't love it, but that's fine. You have your heart's in the right place. Now they're saying we don't care about game balance, we care about something other than that. I don't know. The fact that we're getting such crazy, I mean, next month we're gonna get the damage immunity stuff, like, all sorts of awesome ways to abuse that. And it's a frustrating thing, guys. I don't love that. That's something that is directly opposing what I like. I want game balance. I don't want the madness. I don't want them to be like, hey, you can have an extra 150% potency on an entire squad. Like, let's just negate all of the previous stats. And that there's another one that's like, everyone starts with 25% turn. Like, it's crazy. It is just crazy to me. And I guess we'll see. But this is very different than Watt giving one little buff to one person, as opposed to everyone blanket gets this crazy other stuff. So let's move on before I rupture a valve or something. There's a new assault battle, and it's Inquisition, and if you have Relic 5 on all of them, with mediocre mods, you can relatively easily get through Tier 2 of the top bonus thing. It's very easy, guys. Like, you can hit auto all the way through 2. I didn't even try 3. 2 took too long. I was like, I'm not going to try 3. I think I'll just fail, because I'll wait for the Inquisitor to come out. But this is cool. People whining on Reddit about Resistance don't have one. Why not? Why the hell don't they? It's like, well, do Mandalorians have one? Do other like, who cares? I don't care that Resistance don't have one. Like, it's just, I thought that this was a dead thing. I thought the assault battles were just like, hey, we're not doing anymore. Like, have fun doing the previously existing ones. Like, they even added sim buttons for them. Like, I thought they were dead, but apparently they're not. This was cool. This was a good addition, and it adds value to put it farming Inquisition. I like this change. This is a very positive, solid thing. Not to mention, it felt really fun to get all of those bonus rewards the first time. Like, I got so many shards that amounted to a little bit of shard shop currency, but it was cool. I thoroughly enjoyed it. First time I've had a positive feeling experience with Inquisition yet. That, as crazy as that is. Alright, guys, so let's go to channel news here. So, I'm still working on, I announced it last time, I'm working on the Fleet Essentials stuff, or the first one is going to be for the Chimera and, the Empire Fleet. So, stay tuned for that. These things do take a while to accumulate stuff, especially because I don't understand the fleet super well, and I want to make sure I do understand it well enough. But just want to make sure you guys understand this is still on its way. This last week has been so crazy with news, I wanted to focus on that. So hopefully in a week or two we'll get this out to you. All right, another news thing. I did this is not really news. I did like a big Omicron ranking video, but the biggest news is I have Photoshop now, and I'm starting to produce a little bit higher level content, hopefully. We'll hopefully get a new overlay other than what we have right now for my YouTube videos, and hopefully get some more lighting in the back, or different lighting in the back, etc. But, just a cool thing, it's channel news. And, yeah. Is that it? Is that the last thing here, guys? I swear I had one more thing. Hold on. Okay, I think I figured it out. There we go. Alright. Back to finally, we have the speculation piece, and the question is, when are we getting Red 5? I mean, that's the ship that so many people have asked for. I don't know that we care. Obviously, we're probably not going to get the Rogue One version of Red 5, though I would love that as a troll. When are we going to get it? Raddus is going to be announced at some point, or the AdRad ship, Profundity, will be announced, and probably we'll get Red 5 to go with it. That would be my guess. If I had to guess right this second, I would say that's going to be our next Conquest character, though I could be wrong. Probably going to wait until Raddus, AdRad himself, is mostly farmable, so most people can invest in him, and then we'll get a list of other requirements. So start working on your dash, start farming Outrider, even though it looks worthless. Start farming it now, folks, because it's going to be necessary for that fleet, and probably a requirement. And maybe Red 5 will go with them. I'm not entirely sure. Work on your other Rogue One ships, though. Those will probably also be relevant. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Help me mount the algorithm, get the thumbs up, all that awesome stuff, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Zareth prevails, because He has a plan. Take care, guys.